Hello, everybody. My name is Angela Sucre. I am an undergraduate student in the Department of Psychology in the University of Concordia. And today I will discuss the study that I conducted on the Hexaco 60 measure of personality by Ashton and Lee, 2009, and how it relates to the notion of validity according to Messick. So I will start with an introduction, including an overview of personality, Messick's validity arguments, and the replication crisis faced by psychological research. I will continue by presenting my study's purpose and hypotheses, the methods and results section, and I will finish by a conclusion with a summary of the result patterns and link them back to the theories discussed in the introduction. So there is a need for assessing personality with a reliable and quick tool that allows researchers and clinicians to predict human behavior more effectively. Ashton and Lee acted on this need by creating a shorter version of their Hexaco personality inventory revise that they named the Hexaco 60. In their study, they found low interscale correlations among the traits of personality that included honesty, humility, emotionality, extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. This supported the theory of orthogonality between personality dimensions. They also found high theoretical patterns of correlations between their new measure and the Hexaco PIR along with the Big Five. Researchers have therefore recommended this tool in contexts where assessment time is very restricted. This convergent and diverging evidence that I just mentioned relates to Messick's framework of validity arguments. According to him, a validity is used in order to assess if an instrument truly measures a construct. He argued that the validity can be simplified to construct validity with different subsets. In our study, we will examine the validity of the Hexaco 60 by using the subset of internal structure and relations to other variables. According to Messick's framework, we have internal structure and we find correlations between the different aspects of personality. Conversely, there is relation to other variables and we find high correlations between the new Hexaco 60 and previous scales measuring the same construct like the Hexaco PIR. Psychological research is currently facing a replication crisis because researchers do not find the same results as the original studies. This created a loss of credibility in the field of psychology. As a solution, Maxwell recommends using meta-analysis to interpret combined results. Our replication of the Ashton and Lee's Hexaco 60 is an attempt to lower the risk of inflated false positives in the literature. So the purpose of our study is to successfully replicate Ashton and Lee's study in an effort to examine the validity of the Hexaco 60 by using Messick's validity arguments. To address this question, we included three hypotheses. Our first hypothesis is that the extroversion scale will not be related to the openness to experience scale. Our second hypothesis is that the honesty humility scale will not be related to the agreeableness scale. Our third hypothesis is our interscale correlations between extroversion and agreeableness will be related to Ashton and Lee's correlation between these two traits of personality. In order to test these hypotheses, we conducted a study with a continuous sample of 56 Concordia University students enrolled in the Research Methods 2 class between the ages of 18 and 23. As for the materials, we used the Hexaco 60 to assess personality of 6 dimensions. For example, to assess emotionality, participants reported the extent to which they agreed to the following statement. I feel like crying when I see other people crying. A morality identity scale and a syllogistic reasoning questionnaire were also administered. We started the procedure with an informed consent. We then administered the Hexaco 60 questionnaire and questions about their estimated overall GPA, time spent outside, estimated intelligence, and ethical importance. The morality identity scale was then provided, and finally, the syllogistic reasoning task was given to test the belief bias effect. After the experiment, there was a closing statement that emphasized data anonymity. After collecting the data, we conducted a correlation analysis of personality dimensions reported by the Hexaco 60. We did not analyze moral reasoning or the belief bias score. We found piercing correlations of 0.08 for the extroversion and openness to experience. We also found low interscale correlations of 0.29 between honesty, humility, and agreeableness. In addition, we found an interscale correlation of 0.14 between extroversion and agreeableness scale, which was similar to Ashton and Lee's correlation of 0.05. In conclusion, we found divergent evidence among different dimensions of personality. This confirms the orthogonality of these traits described in our first two hypotheses. We also found convergent evidence with the Ashton and Lee's interscale correlations in terms of strength and directionality. Our study thus supports the validity of the hexacle 60 based on Messick's arguments, and we recommend using this parametric tool when assessment time is limited. A similar replication study that uses effect sizes and p-values is needed to add to the validity argument and the literature.